Hello learners, welcome to the NIOS studio. My name is Abhay Shukla. I am a solution architect with a leading IT service solution provider. And in today's session, we will talk about fundamentals of internet and email. Go into this exciting world of internet and try and understand that what happens in the background and then what are the different features, different benefits that we can drive out of the internet by using internet and how it can improve our day-to-day life. Yeah? So we'll talk about this all in our session. Objectives of today's session, let's go through quickly. So we'll define what is internet and its usage. We will talk about different type of connections available to connect to the internet. So we'll briefly talk about this. Then we'll describe the concept of domain name system. What is a domain name system? We'll talk about different type of web pages, downloading files and softwares. Then we will talk about use of various internet services like chat, video conferencing and social networking. What is our internet? It is a network of networks. So network of networks, what is the network? Within our organization, say within a college, engineering college, we have different computers. We have computers in our lab, we have computers in different departments. They are connected through something that is called LAN, local area network. Then that local area network of a given organization gets connected to a wide area network. So there will be different engineering colleges, different organizations, different government bodies. Each of them will have their own LAN, and those different LANs get connected to a wide area network. So that is a cosmopolitan network. That cosmopolitan network then connects, so there will be many cosmopolitan cities, there will be different cities, different districts. So computers that reside in that particular geographical area, all of them then get connected into a wider network. And thus it goes on building in your scale. So your internet is something that is a world wide web, like it's like a web of computers. Yeah? So you have your computers that are on the different part of the web, like a spider web. Yeah? So that is your internet, network of networks. Let's quickly look at the different applications of internet. These are not just an example, not limiting to just this list. There are n number of examples of internet. The key one that is used in the professional world is your exchanging messages using email. So in today's professional world, we also have our other collaboration softwares like Skype. So there is a software called Skype for Business, through which you can not only communicate through email, but you can have your video conferencing, you can have your audio conferencing, you can have your web conferencing, you can have your instant messaging. So that is your power of your Skype for Business. Then you can host a website on the internet. So when I say host a website, you can provide information about the organization, that what it is made up of, what it is offering, what are the different elements, all kind of information. So suppose if you are a part of a engineering college, for example, yeah, so what is the admission procedure, what is the brochure, what is the contact information, what are the different courses that are on offer, what are the details of the faculty, what has been the past record, all of that information you can host on a website. So website, what website is made up of? It is made of different web pages. Another kind of application of internet is we can do online business. You must have heard about different business portals. What are those business portals? The common one is Amazon, which is a multinational organization. We have a Flipkart, which is an Indian organization. We have Paytm Mall. You must have heard of the Paytm Mall. Yeah? There are n number of businesses that we can carry out using the internet. And the basic function is transferring files, yeah, so which we can do using emails, or we can do a FTP protocol. There is a file transfer protocol through which we can transfer the files. So, these are different applications, and this is not just limiting to this list. There are n number of applications that we will get to see further. Now, how, before we get into those applications, let us see how as a user, a day-to-day user, we get connected to internet. One is the dial-up connection. This is an old way of connecting to internet, not much in use these days. So, what we used to have a telephonic connection, and then we used to first establish a telephonic connection, and then on top of that telephonic connection we used to have our internet connection. We used to connect to internet, but this is no longer in use. What is still in use is your DSL communication. So, DSL connection is your digital subscriber line, which is essentially through a copper based network. So, the means of communicating was all copper based. Recently, we have moved on to a more advanced version of connecting to the internet, which is all fiber based, optical fiber based. So, that is your cable modem broadband connection. So, the speed. So, what is the differentiator between these different type of connectivity options? Dial-up connection is very slow, DSL is still improved connection, cable modem broadband connection, this offers up to speeds up to Gbps. Then we have another which is wireless. So, if you do not want to connect through your optical fiber, or you do not want to connect through your copper cables, then there is an option to provide wireless communication. This wireless communication is something that is restricted to, that is a geographical restriction. It is enabled through your optical fiber, it is enabled through your copper cables, and it is restricted to a particular geography, wireless communication. But when this wireless communication is powered by the cellular communication, which we will get to see. So, what is this cellular communication? This cellular communication is powered by your mobile service operators. So, in this is a very powerful. So, this is your wireless, as well as it is providing you a communication system, third generation communication system or fourth generation communication system, and it provides you internet on the move. So, on your smartphones you are able to connect to the internet. So, these are the different ways through which you get connected to the internet. Now, how does our internet work? How the data that you are sending over the internet, how does it reach a particular destination? So, how we do that? So, that is done by breaking the data into different packets. So, you want to send a consignment, and all of that consignment cannot be sent over a single baggage. So, you break that consignment and then package it. So, those are called packets. And for each packet, what we do? We put a header. Now, what does that header have? It has the address, that where this packet should land up, and then what is the sequence. So, you have broken down the information into different set of packets. So, in that set of information, where does this packet fit in? What is the sequence of this packet? So, where it has, so header will have the information that where it has to go and where in that sequence it fits in. So, we have a packet, and then we have a header attached to that packet, and then each packet along with the header is sent from one computer to another until it finds its way to its destination. So, what is that destination? How is that destination identified? That we will get to see next. So, destination is based on the IP address. So, what is IP address? That we will get to see next. This is a pictorial depiction. So, on one side you have one computer, then on the other side you have another computer that are trying to communicate with each other, and then within the two computers you have a network of computers, which is a world wide web collection of electronic documents or electronic web pages. What is web page? Web page is an electronic document. You type something using some markup language. HTML is one of the markup languages, hypertext markup language, or so this is something that you make for make use of for building the web pages. So nowadays, another software language that is used is CSS. Then a collection of different web pages. So a web page will have one set of information. So one web page can have a message from a head of the institution. Another web page can have information about a particular officer of the organization. Another web page can have information about the particular product on offer. So all that collection of web pages become your website. Collection of different web pages belonging to a particular organization or a particular company, this become your website. Then another key term in the internet terminology is your web server. What is a web server? It is a device with a high memory capability, and what does it do? It stores all the web pages. That is not the only thing it does. Web server, it receives the request. So there will be a user who may want to make use of the information that is stored on the server. So how it will do? It will try to access that information. So it will make a request to the server that I want to make use of this information. Server will authenticate that whether this user is authorized to access this web page or it is not authorized to access, whether it is a free information or whether it is a restricted information. So if it is a restricted information, then all kind of authentication, authorization will be carried out by the server. But if it is a free information, it will be provided through without any authentication or information. So it will accept the request for users and then provide them the required information. Another key term is hyperlink. So hyperlink is a link on a given web page on which when you click, it takes you to the another web page or another portion of the same web page or to a new website. So it could be anything, yeah, and usually you get to see, you are able to differentiate a hyperlink on a web page by it might have a different color, it might be underlined, it could be an image also. It not necessarily needs to be a word or it doesn't need to be a text, yeah, it could be an image also. So when you click on image, it can take you to a different web page or it can take you to a different website altogether. So these are the different key internet terminologies that we have. We talked about HTML, which is hypertext markup languages, and using these language, we are able to generate a web page. So since it is a language, it will have its own set of tags. So tags are keywords on the basis of which we are able to give a graphical view to a HTML page, or we can, so suppose we on a web page, we want to see a particular piece of text in say a given font or a given color. So all that of those things we can define by tags that are part of the HTML. Yeah. So these are the key words. We have tags. Another key element in internet terminology is URL. What is URL? It is Uniform Resource Locator. So every website has a internet address, IP address. On my screen you can see http://computer/inbtenet/url.html. Now what is all of this? It has a meaning. What is that meaning? First, HTTP. It defines the protocol through which you will be able to access the website. So HTTP is your hypertext transfer protocol. It is the protocol through which the information gets transferred from one computer system to the another computer system. For financial transactions, usually we make use of the protocol which is HTTPS. So this S denotes secured transfer protocol. What is the www.nios.org? www.nios.org is your web server, where the information about the organization or information about a particular company is hosted in form of different web pages. Yeah? So, that is your web server, and then within the web server we can define a library, that where essentially within that server the particular page that has been asked for resides. What is IP address? It is a unique address usually defined in terms of 3 numerics, dot, 3 numerics, dot, 3 numerics, dot, 3 numerics. So, this is your IPv4 terminology for giving the IP address of a particular device. So, when I say unique address, every device on the web, every device on the internet, it will have its own unique address through which it can be uniquely identified. So, when you are sending a letter from your home to say your grandparents' home, so you need to specify the address, and your address is unique because it bears your grandparents' name, it bears the locality that they are from, house number, everything. So, you are able to uniquely identify the destination. Likewise, IP address provides a unique destination of the device to which the given packet, given source of information is destination is where it needs to reach to. So, that is why IP addresses are unique, and it is always defined in this 3 numerics, dot, 3 numerics, dot, 3 numerics, dot, 3 numerics. So, this is the way we write the IP addresses. So, interestingly, we have a mapping between the something called domain name system and these IP addresses. Okay. So, on the previous screen we saw www.niaos.org. Yeah, that was the URL for that particular site. Now, there needs to be a matching between that URL and a IP address, because that IP address will be the IP address of your server. So, unique name of the individual host site on the internet. So, your domain name system is essentially giving you the IP address of the server that is hosting that site. And there are 6 main categories of the organizations, different type of organizations that we have on the internet. One is .com. .com is your commercial institutions, which is most common type of category. Then we have .edu. We have educational institutions. So, you can have your organizations like amity.edu, .gov, your government site. For example, you have your indianrail.gov, .in. So, what does .in indicate? That we will talk about in the next slide. So, gov is your government site. Then you have .mil, which is your military site, .net, which is about talking about the gateways, and then .org, which is your private organizations. So, we talked about .in. So, in this slide, if you get to see on the bullet point 2, we have .in. So, .in indicates India. So, after the organization, we have your geographic domains. So, if it is AU, it indicates it is from Australia. The domain is Australia. If it is IN, it is India. If it is UK, it is United Kingdom. JP, Japan. US, United States. So, we have our geographic domain, we have your organizational domains. So, these are the key terminologies that we make use while we are defining a domain name system. Yeah. What is a web browser? It is a software program used to access the World Wide Web. So, common web browsers that we get to see is a Chrome, most common these days, very powerful, and we began web browsing capability through a web browser that was defined by Windows. So, what was that? Internet Explorer. So, Internet Explorer, Chrome, these are the most common web browsers that we make use. Others are Firefox that we make use of. So, how do we access a given site? On the web browser, we type the URL on the browser. So if I could open a website, so I have opened this Chrome web browser, and here if I type a website called google.com. So suppose I type www.google.com and then we hit an enter, we come to this website, that is Google. Now what is Google? Google is essentially a search engine. Now search engine, what is a search engine? Search engine is an engine that accesses billions of web pages that are available all across internet, and based on the keyword that you are trying to search, it will give you the desired output. So for example, if I want to search about NIOS and I hit enter, what do I get to see? It gives us the link to the home page for the National Institute of Open Schooling. So when we type the keyword NIOS on the search engine and we hit enter, what do we get to see? We get to see the National Institute of Open Schooling. The first suggestion that is on offer is the home page of the National Institute of Open Schooling. So what we do here, we opened a web browser, which was Chrome in this case. Then we typed in the google.com, which is a search engine. On that search engine, we typed for a keyword NIOS, and then it gave us the search results, and the most relevant result was displayed first, which was National Institute of Open Schooling. Likewise, if we want to have another kind of information, that we can get through a search engine. So we just saw this search engine. Another type of search engine that we have on offer is Yahoo. Microsoft offers a search engine, that is Bing. So more or less, search engines provide same kind of functionality. The key is that when you are searching, you need to search starting from the most relevant keyword, most important keyword that you want to search. It may be a string of words, that you may want to search, but your most relevant keyword should be used first, because the sequence of words in a string, that may give different set of results. So the tip is that you make use of the most relevant keyword and then the different other keywords. Another tip is that if you want to search for a particular string of information, a particular name, then you can put it into inverted quotes and then you can make a search. Then we'll talk about different services that are provided over internet. So most of these are now used by modern day users over a smartphone, which is powered by Android operating system, which is specifically designed for our smartphones that we can carry from one place to the other. So what are the different services on the internet? Mostly these are from the purpose of communications, because today's generation is communication hungry, information hungry. So Twitter is one of the social media or social networking tool through which you can tweet. So when I say tweet, you can write a message of a specific set of words. It is circa 100 words you can write in a tweet. So you can write a tweet and then that gets posted onto the internet. And if you have followers, they can go through your tweet, they can retweet so that it goes on to the followers, people who follow your followers. So that is how it goes on, the information goes on spreading. So tweeting and retweeting is part of your Twitter. You have this collaboration system called Facebook, your excellent tool to collaborate, to go back to your friends, your colleagues, your friends from your school, from your college, from your university, from your organization. So that's excellent. You can share your personal images, your personal thoughts. You can write a post where you can share your feelings on a given topic that bothers you, that bothers society, that bothers your country. You can give your view, you can share it with them. People can like, people can share their feedback, their comment on your post. You can share images from a holiday that you have gone to. You can share a video that you might have recorded. Since you are good at singing, you record your song, you share it over Facebook. People can go through it. They can share their feedback. Google Plus is another social networking tool, so you can collaborate there as well. LinkedIn is a professional networking site. So LinkedIn is essentially where you give your professional credentials and you connect with your uh, industry people who can give you further employment opportunities, who can provide you guidance in case you need any kind of professional guidance. You can keep yourself abreast about the latest developments that are happening in the technology. So it is more from the industrial perspective, more from the technical perspective, more from your professional perspective that you make use of a LinkedIn as a network. That is the differentiator between a LinkedIn and a Facebook. Then there are other applications you can see, instant messaging we talked about, Skype, WhatsApp that is enabled on your smartphones. So it is again a collaboration tool, kind of replica of what you have on Facebook, but it is instant. It is on your always on your palm. You can always on the go. You can access WhatsApp. What are the good part of the services that are provided over internet is e-learning. Previously, when you wanted to learn something, you had to go to a classroom. But now you have a host of material that is available that you can access over the internet. Anything you want to learn is available on internet. Like we are preparing this course to be made available over internet to students. Let's quickly look onto the email in a little more detail. What is email? Email is nothing but electronic mail. What is electronic mail? When we send the information, when we send our thoughts over a electronic medium or over an internet, not through paper. So it is a paperless method of sending messages over the internet. So how do we send that? We need to have a sender, we need to have a receiver. So a sender will have his own account. So there will be an account that needs to be created on a mail server, and then on the receiving side also there should be another account that again will be hosted on a mail server. So there is a concept of email server on which different accounts get created, and those accounts will be unique to a particular user. So a unique user account will write that email and a unique user account will receive that email, and it is the fastest and cheapest mean of communication. Yeah, we don't have to spend a postage stamp. It can reach within seconds. It is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Any type of file you can share. It could be text, it could be graphic, it could be audio, it could be video. Any kind of attachment you can have on that particular message. And most importantly, that for a message to be delivered to the recipient doesn't need to be physically present. The message gets delivered to the mail server. And whenever the recipient logs on to his particular account that is hosted on that mail server, he gets a notification that he has received the email and which he needs to access. So what is the email address that we have? Here is an example. We have, say, john@hotmail.com. Who is John? John is your username. Yeah? It necessarily needs to be, it's a username, so it needs to be unique for that particular mail server. Also on the Hotmail domain, John has to be a unique name. if there cannot be two Johns at hotmail.com. Otherwise, the address is duplicate and message won't get delivered properly. And then com, of course, it, you know, that's the commercial organization name on the net. Yeah. So this is a brief introduction to your emailing. So in today's session, we covered the internet, the basics of internet, that what are the benefits of having internet, what are the different elements of the internet, what is a web page, what is a website, what is a web server, what is a IP address, what is a domain name system, what is the mapping between a domain name system and a IP address. We talked about different organization, and based on that, what is a .com, what is a .org, what is a .edu. Then we talked about geographic domains, that what is AU, what does IN, what does UK mean. Then we talked about different applications of the internet, and briefly we talked about email. Thank you.